Mr. Speaker, I rise today as a member of the Budget Committee to express my strong opposition to this budget resolution.
A love letter to millionaires, billionaires, and corporations, and nothing but a manifesto of contempt for America's working families.
This is no miracle. This is fraud being perpetrated against the middle class.
With this budget, Republicans aren't just passing the buck, they're pocketing it.
It attacks women's health by defunding, of course, Planned Parenthood once again. It slashes SNAP, the food stamp program, by $154 billion. Did you really come to Congress to take food out of the mouths of hungry children?
This reckless budget cuts early childhood, K through 12, and higher education programs, as well as job training and apprenticeships.
The Republican budget cuts funding for our roads, our bridges, and our railways.
Education, health care, research, infrastructure. It even assumes $49 billion in cuts to veterans' benefits.
It neglects our grandparents and our seniors with a $487 billion cut to Medicare in the next decade.
How many times will the majority try to cut Medicaid by $1 trillion, cut Medicare benefits, and raise insurance costs on elderly and low-income Americans?
It's outrageous that this is all being done to enact tax cuts for the wealthy and the well-off, tax cuts for the privileged few, tax cuts for special interests here in Washington, D.C.
This will only give Republicans license to call for further cuts to critical programs like Medicare, Social Security, and education.
Slashing programs that help working families in order to line the pockets of the wealthiest Americans has never led to jobs or economic growth, and it never will.
So if my friends want growth, you know how you get growth? You invest in the American people.
You don't have to be a PhD economist to know that if you really want to create jobs, invest in technical training for the million skills gap we have.
Enough is enough. Instead of pandering to the well-connected and our worst impulses, this budget should embody America's best values.
Our nation's budget should prioritize working families and the middle class, too many of whom are making low wages and living below the poverty line.
Let's invest in quality education, job skills training, and properly fund the State Department and foreign aid programs.
Invest in the social safety net, invest in research and development, invest in affordable housing, and invest in the well-being of everyday Americans.
Democrats have a different budget and a far different vision for our country. We believe in a government that helps individuals with nowhere left to turn and a tax code that helps families get ahead. Those are American priorities, and they should be the priorities of this Congress.